want us to look at this play and see if we had a significant amount of contact initiated by 5, or the reason that 44 is on the ground is because he was contacted by his own player. We talked about the rebounding action. That was something that we were going to focus on for the second half at halftime. So hopefully we can continue to be mindful of the rebounding action that we have. That means that we need to, in the center and the trail, we need to close down and officiate this rebounding action that we have. All right, Dimitri. The reason that you ducked is because you're in the way, and you want to be on the sideline. Also, let's take a look at that play and see if we had a marginal screen, and we should have passed on that screen. Doesn't look like there was a whole lot of contact initiated. We talked about that this morning. When we take a look at that, let's see if we got a marginal screen there. Ron, when we have a shot that goes up opposite, you don't want to be in a close down, because that doesn't put you in a good spot to officiate the rebounding action. So when a shot goes up, you might want to take maybe just a step back from your close down position, so we can see that backside rebounding. I know we talked about the rebounding action. We talked about taking care of 44. That was up high on a rebound, came from the lead. We don't really need to be paying attention to that type of action. We're going to leave that up to the center and also to the trail. It was a quick tap in. I don't think that it warranted a whistle, or if we needed a whistle, but we'll look at that on tape and see, should we have held our whistle just an extra second to see if we had a foul. I think the dribbler right there might have gotten himself in trouble and tried to dribble through people. He was making a gesture about how he might have gotten slapped on the arm. We'll look at that on video and see, but I don't think there was anything. I think he just did a little bit too much trying to dribble through people. As we can see again, 44 has gotten the last 3 baskets. He's starting to take over and dominate the game again. Greg, when you look at yourself on tape and see yourself working the lead position, there's been a couple times when you've had like a foot on the baseline. We want to be at least 2 steps off the baseline, so in case a play comes straight at us, we have time to react and get out of the way. So that's a good call right there, Greg. It was a good body bump, knocked him off his RSBQ. He's looking at you like what's going on, but that was an obvious body bump, hand check foul. On that play right there, guys, are we allowing a little bit too much contact? Brian, I would have liked to seen you come over a little bit more, maybe closer to to the middle of the court to officiate that play, because you were in the trail and you still had half court coverage. Even though Greg was coming up to officiate that play, I think it would have been good if the trail would have stayed back a little bit. So we see that Black is playing much more aggressive now on the defensive end. So we need to be mindful of that now. We're going to take a look at that play at 7:10. We had a passing crash. We might have had an injury, and the reason that we missed that is Dimitri. We were in a bad position where we were on the court, and we were trying to adjust to get off the court, and we might have missed that play. We're gonna talk about that collision at 6:50.
We're gonna talk about that one. Just.
So we got a little situation going on right here, guys. We've had two crash and pass plays. It's gotten a little rough, gotten a little physical. Let's I like how we kind of came in and handled it. We probably should have stepped in a little bit closer. So yes, that's a good call. 3 is a problem. 3 is a bench player. He's a problem. We need to take care of that. We need to either address that with him or just get rid of him, foul him out of the game. Because we also noticed that 3 is not here to play basketball. I want to give credit to Jenna when she just mentioned that I think we had 2 leads on that play. And the reason that we had 2 leads on that play is because we missed the rotation. And normally when we miss a rotation, we're ball watching. And I think during that situation when we were down on the other end of the court, we were definitely ball watching. We did have a foul. That was we got the foul right, but we just didn't look right. Greg, I like the discussion that we're having right now with 3. He's a little bit frustrated. He made some comments about the foul count, the situation. That I think that's good that we addressed that. We didn't necessarily give him a technical foul, but we addressed it and said that we're not going to have that. Greg, I'm not sure about that call. We came across 2 lines from the lead, and it was in the C's primary, C's drives to the basket. When we see that on tape, either we're going to say that's a good call for a secondary whistle, or we're going to say that we should have left that up to the C because he saw the play a little bit differently, or even probably the trail had the best look on that, and we only had 1 whistle. So we'll take a look at that. That was probably at about 3:10 on the clock. Now, Greg, did that whistle fit the game? That might have been a marginal call at best that we had. yes, 44 is our best player on the floor on both ends. He got the rebound clean. So I don't think we should have had a foul call on that. I think that should have been just a no call and play on and keep the clock rolling in that situation. Greg, we should have had a rotation there. Brian, we had a 5-second call. Minute and 13 left in the game. Obvious 5 seconds. I think we probably could have waited a little bit. It's a 20-point game. Don't necessarily think that we need a 5-second call. That's a good flop. He was there, he was late. 3 was late. He wasn't in a legal guarding position. He flopped. So, and that was the 9th team foul. But I think that was a good call. Okay, let's rewind this play and look at the after the rebound, see what happened to 23. The ball was taken from him, and it looks like he got hit in the eye on an eye swat. And we didn't have a whistle. We just went up the court on that particular play. Let's rewind the tape and look at that and see if we had a foul. I know the foul count's 9-4, but there's just some things that we can't ignore and we can't let go of. And Black has been really aggressive here in the later part of the second half.